momentarily forgot my deep and abiding commitment to avoid eating anything that comes from the water, either salt or fresh. But since she's in the process of working her way into an appetizer-induced coma, I'll forgive her temporary loss of memory. "I know you must have gone to town on the cheesesteak sliders," she said, grabbing a deep-fried stuffed mushroom from her plate. "Yes," I said, rubbing my stomach. "And the mushrooms, the Italian sausage and peppers, and the chicken corn fritters." "Did you try the bacon-wrapped figs stuffed with blue cheese?" "Yeah," I said, holding my stomach. "I had a couple." Josie raised an eyebrow at me as she chewed. "Define a couple," she said. 8, maybe 10? "Lightweight," she said, selecting another shrimp from her plate. She held the plate out toward me. I shook my head and continued to rub my stomach. "Okay," Josie said. "More for me." Her ability to consume prodigious amounts of food without gaining a pound continued to baffle me. I'd made a solid effort today to keep up with her, but who was I kidding? If she hadn't decided to become a veterinarian, she would have had a bright future as a competitive eater. "It's a nice turnout," Josie said. "John's gone above and beyond what anybody could expect." "He certainly has," I said. "Have you seen him yet?" "Only briefly," she said. "He seemed a bit distracted, but he's probably just trying to get everything wrapped up for the season." "Yeah, I'm sure he is," I said, glancing down at Chloe, who was focused on something on the other side of the lawn. "But he did say he had a surprise for later on," Josie said, setting her empty plate on a nearby table. "There's more?" I said. "Apparently," she said, then stopped. I heard her trying to swallow a gasp and followed her eyes to the other side of the lawn. I recognized the man strolling our way along with a massive dog. They were both drawing a lot of attention, and their progress toward us was slow. "Who on earth is that?" Josie said, staring intensely at the man. "That is the famous Summerman Lawless," I said, climbing out of the lounge chair. "And the dog is Murray." "He's magnificent," Josie said. "Are you referring to him or the dog?" "What dog?" Josie asked. I stared at her. It didn't happen very often. In fact, I'd only seen it 3 times before. But there was no mistaking what I was witnessing. Josie's motor was running full throttle. "You said he's famous?" she said, unable to take her eyes off the man who continued to make his way across the lawn. "He's a musician originally from the area. Do you remember the band Life's Eclectic Nightmare?" "Len? Sure, I remember them. Aren't they the ones who died in a boating accident?" "Everyone in the band except for one member." "That's him," I said, waving to him. "What's he doing here?" Josie said, clambering out of her lounge chair to stand next to me. "He's got an island a couple of miles downriver. He tries to get to the river each summer, but I haven't seen him around this year." "You know this man?" Josie asked, staring at me. "Sure, I've known him for years," I said, shrugging. "He was ahead of me at school, but he's pretty tight with my mom. I had such a crush on him when I was younger." "I'd be shocked if you hadn't," Josie said. Murray spotted me and made a beeline for us. Chloe, completely unsure about what to do about the massive beast, barked and then sat down near my feet and cocked her head. Murray stood on his back legs and gently placed his front paws on my shoulders. "Hello, Murray," I said, vigorously rubbing his massive head. Murray glanced down and spotted Chloe. They spent the next few minutes checking each other out, decided they liked each other, and began playing and rolling in the grass. "What a great dog," Josie said, apparently noticing the gigantic beast for the first time. "Hi, Suzy. So good to see you." "Hi, Summerman," I said, giving him a hug. "Where have you been all summer?" "It's a long story," he said. "All the good ones are," I said. "Yeah, you're right. I spent most of the summer bouncing back and forth between Vegas and China." "Well, I'm glad you made it here today," I said. "John's making me sing for my supper," he said, laughing. "But for you and your rescue program, I'm happy to do it." "You're going to play?" I said. "That's great."